Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
CIBIP has taken a novel step to set up an inter-institutional, inter-speciality academic program in the field of biomedical innovations and entrepreneurship. This step is the formation of CIBIP.CCAMP Inter-Institutional Biomedical Innovation Program. This program aims to encourage interdisciplinary dialogue between medical, dental, engineering, pharmacy and science students and other specialities such as the social sciences, humanities, arts and design and management. So, to know more about this program, we have with us today Dr. Ravi Chandran Nayar, who is the Program Director of CIBIP. Let's hear him out.
So today we have with us Dr. Ravi Chandran Nayar, Program Director for CICAMP's Inter-Institutional Biomedical Innovation Program. So welcome, sir. And please let's start with knowing more about CIBIP and how it started and what exactly it does.
So CIBIP is a program under the aegis of CICAMP. CICAMP is an organization which, among many responsibilities, is charged with helping the bio-entrepreneurship landscape in the whole of India, both as a source of funding, as a source of selection, as a source of mentoring. One of the lacuna areas which we have noticed as clinicians is that the quality of innovations on the basis on which entrepreneurship is done is not of a very high caliber in India. We understand that the process of entrepreneurship in India is new and in a sense India is laying the road as it grows. However, it is necessary to address this lacuna. An analysis of the reasons for the lack of quality of innovations throws up certain startling facts. One of them is that the interdisciplinary dialogue between doctors of various specialties, between engineers and doctors, between management, between design, is lacking in India because the curricular imperatives are all about their specialty. The education system in India does not address this because it is entirely committed to granting of degrees, ensuring that people get employed. This area is therefore a weak link in the entrepreneurship chain because the days of one person having one idea and become an entrepreneur has gone. You require multiple specialties, you require people to understand that it is not how brainy you are, but how iterative the program is, how you can take gradual changes and improve and make a very good innovation. If we do not address this now, soon it will be too late to come back and try to address this. So CIBIP is trying to address it at a very basic level.
So bringing together various experts from various domains and kind of be in a collaborative mode to create something new or improve upon something seems really very practical and makes a lot of sense. So what is behind, how did this idea came up to, institute this kind of a program and what is the background to it?
Okay, so to be very honest, people of various specialties do meet, do interact, and whatever you see as entrepreneurship is the result of this kind of an interaction. However, this happens at a later stage of careers. So I'm already a doctor and I meet a person who is already an engineer, by which time we have already hardened our positions. Our ability to interact is that much more difficult. There is a saying, catch them young. How young? Instead of addressing at the school level, let us address them at the tech level. That is, any of the STEM fields. While undergoing STEM training, try to open them out to other fields. Not didactically, but practically. CIBIP tries to address that. The first level is getting doctors and engineers to meet in spite of their busy schedules. So CIBIP has focused on a platform method using the internet so that you can combine that with your work. You need not take leave to go for that. For the engineers, it is a win-win because they all need to do projects. So we give them practical projects, not internet downloaded projects. For the doctor, it is a reassurance that if I have a need, there are engineers who can do it. From the engineering teacher's point of view, there's not only one engineering department, but multiple engineering departments working together, which is essential. Because if you were to take a single device, it's possible. But if you take a complex device like a CT scan or anything, you require mechanical engineers, electrical engineers, embedded technologists, everybody working together. And unless India reaches maturity at that level, our products will never compete internationally. So this is the first step in this long journey.
So to understand better what CIBIP does, the program itself, I mean, I would like to know or understand how do you bring these people from various disciplines together, start a dialogue, and take the dialogue to a level where it becomes productive.
So we went through this very carefully and addressed all the potential problems before we started. And as a result of that, the program has a very simple flow. It starts with reaching out to the vice chancellors of universities. And we make the vice chancellor understand the importance of this. And I'm happy to say that almost all the vice chancellors have approached have instantaneously understood the importance. The devil lies in the details. How do you do it practically? So we explain to them that it is not very difficult. We get in all the medical colleges department and all the engineering college departments to come together and address them. It's very surprising that many of the universities I've gone to have confessed to me that doctors and engineers have not sat in the same auditorium since the inception of the university. So that could be taken as a critique, but also as a good sign that they all recognize the importance and meet together. That is the starting point. The second thing is we explain to everybody that this is an online system. There is no micromanaging. This is an academic exercise. You are teaching people to exploit their own potentials. And it does not interfere with standard curriculum. If these points are addressed, people move towards it a little more easily. The third would be actually approaching each department. There's a little bit of effort involved, but as we've all heard of Sant Kabir saying that if you want to sell milk, you have to go house to house, unlike alcohol where you can be in one place. So we consider this as selling milk. So we go to department, and what we ask is not very complex. We ask the doctor or the caregiver, what problem did you face today? And often from simple problems, you get very complex ideas. To give you an example, one of the doctors said the lead apron which she wears in the radiology department is very heavy. Now, people have been wearing it for 30, 40 years, been accepting the load. She's young, so she asked the question, why should I carry a heavy load? And then people start thinking, can we address this issue? Can we take the weight off on some other? These are small ideas. But if she sees this actually happening, she develops confidence that my ideas and thoughts are not just thoughts which go away, but they can actually be addressed. And that is the beginning of the innovative process. So we deliver this message to everybody that you don't have to think anything. You just have to think of the problem you faced. And based on that, so a problem, everybody talks about problem-based learning. This is problem-based learning. And obviously your thought of the problem doesn't give you a solution. It involves people to think about it, the solution, and develop it. The CIBIP program goes on to put them through the standard internationally recognized method of innovation, encourages them to plug into the innovation labs already present in universities, which is often underutilized. So it gives them benefits. And side by side, we teach them what comes next. Because we just don't want to make them an innovation and leave it in mid-layer. So we teach them what is entrepreneurship, what does it entail, by getting a series of experts to come and give a talk. And when they give talks about their experience, mainly from startup industry, they give think about how they raised funds, or how do you go about addressing issues like property rights, intellectual, etc., etc. So that at the end of a 6-month period, the doctor has benefited because he has seen some product which he might be able to use to help a patient. The engineers have benefited because they have learned to work with the doctors, one thing, to work among themselves, another thing. And so a lot of their funds, a lot of equipment which is now in engineering college can be used for a practical thing. Both of them learn about the entrepreneurship process. They may be encouraged to form companies, which is what CCamp is all about. And because they know the theory, they can decide whether they want to go into this as a full-time career or just contribute to it as an expert.
So, do you feel there is a need to integrate this, collaborative innovation or collaborative entrepreneurship into the curriculum itself across universities?
Yes, I think you touched on the main purpose of the CIBIP program. It is, we hope to teach everybody that it is not in studying only your specialty that progress can occur, but it is by interacting with other specialties that progress can occur. And once you learn that, you don't have to, reach a very high level of learning or go abroad and all that and then come back and do it. You can do it where you stand. And I think there are many examples in the world where young people who are not burdened by layers of didactic education hit the market idea very straight. So this will encourage at the STEM level a lot of students, because we talk about the need but we don't tell them how to do it. So we are trying to tell them how to do it. We're trying to tweak the system. We're not changing anything. That within their specialties they learn how to talk, they learn this thing, and thereafter take it forward if it is their calling.
Okay, so what impact do you think this is going to create in a larger landscape of innovation or entrepreneurship?
So in a smaller landscape, I can already talk about impact. Many universities have woken up to the fact that they have doctors and engineers. They're sitting on two gold mines. You have a gold mine of engineers and a gold mine of doctors. You put two gold mines together and you're getting a geometric increase in the potential. A lot of people know we have potential, we don't know what to do with it. So we are opening doors. So as I said, many universities said this is the first time we have met. I think that was something great. Because now, remember, they may even start meeting without CIBIP, right? Which somebody pointed out, why do we need you? So they need us for a system, that's all. I do not make any tall claims.
Basically create a culture and let the people live with it.
To an extent, by their opening their doors to people from CIBIP, they have opened their doors to that idea. That itself, to my mind, makes me feel that is half the battle won. The rest is in the details, which we consider this to be a systematic method like farming. Currently, entrepreneurship is based on a fishing model, wherein it's like a banking, that I have the money, you approach me. Right now, there are many people who have ideas, but they don't know how to approach a bank. There are many people who approach the bank and take the money, they don't have ideas. Right? We are turning this like the microfinance people and bringing it to the doorstep. So in a sense, it is like farming. You're making a system by which this can grow. And it is in keeping with all government programs. ICMR brought out a policy called DHR, ICMR DHR policy, which sketched out what it has to do, what has to be done. And we are now trying to tell them how you can do this in a practical, simple manner, which is easily applicable.
What is the future for this collaborative approach and the programs particularly which CIBIP is running? Where do you see yourself for this idea of yours, growing into, and what will it culminate into?
Right now, I see it as a late proof of concept, because we have already proved the concept, but we want to add more and more numbers and bring out many, many ideas, by which we hope that the powers that be, both in the engineering side and the medical side, the people who run the profession, would see the benefit when presented to them and make it a curricular imperative. The day an interdisciplinary program becomes a curricular imperative, we have achieved our objective. Because as of now, we are the only program addressing it at such an early stage. There are many programs addressing this at a later stage. We are the only people who are trying to approach it at a very early stage. There's a lot of lecturing being done to schools, which may or may not fructify. This cannot but fructify. So once this is accepted and it becomes a curricular imperative, CIBIP is one of its many ways of doing it. We will be quite happy we have achieved what we set out to do.
Would you like to give some message to the stakeholders here so that it reaches out to the maximum people with greater impact?
So the only message which I can think, insofar as I'm senior enough or weighty enough to give messages, which I take with a pinch of salt, is that we need to re-look. I mean, this is a lesson from medicine. You cannot assume that if you treat somebody, he will improve. You have to re-look at it. You have to revisit it. You have to study it again to make sure he has. You should be willing to change. So I believe that this is actually a change because we are blindly accepting the Western method of entrepreneurship. Right? Nobody's questioning it. We need to question it. I mean, if today funding goes for AI, everybody is talking AI. Nobody's talking anything else. Why? Because the funds go that way. Is it right? Is it wrong? I pass no comments. But the fact is, we are not looking at it independently. So to get that independent thinking courage, you have to start early. At a certain age in your life, you can't think independent. You bow down with so many pressures in this thing. And the best way to start is youngsters. And we are constantly complaining about the rote learning. This is an opportunity to change that. So for all stakeholders, especially in the field of education, this is what the future of scientific education is.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Dr. Ravi, and we hope all your ideas are fructified in the coming days and future, and wish you all the best. Thank you so much.
Inter-institutional and inter-speciality programs such as CIBIP would surely provide an impetus that would foster strong biomedical innovation communities. Such programs can strengthen and benefit all stakeholders involved. Signing off for now, stay tuned for more.